How is semen stored in the body? We will explain this. Semen is stored in the entire body in the form of all your energies, including proteins, sugars, calcium, and other vital, even subtle elements that are in muscles, bones, brain, etc. And then finally, coming and ending in the testicles and penis via all the internal connections. So it's essential for many myths out there to just really understand that semen is not just a liquid that is just sitting within the testes. This is a liquid that is nourishing, giving life, and providing the energy to not only supplement muscle growth, to supplement memory, to supplement many facets of a man's essence. This also will apply to a woman as well with her sexual essence as well, right? The sexual essence is what we know as the sacral root chakra. This sexual energy, this driving force, as what we know as libido, is the creation of all life in this cosmos. Now, to understand and how to maintain this sexual energy and transmute it in a positive way is very crucial and important. Most people have presented two key different understandings on how semen is stored, and they are: number one, semen is stored across the body and extracted from everywhere real time during ejaculation. Or two, semen is stored in the seminal vessel and released from there at the time of ejaculation. Now, these are the two presented keys that most people seem to have a thought process on how semen is. But for the most part, it is a mixture of both. It is indeed, number one, where it is coming out of everywhere, coming out of your bone marrow, your best fats, your best bloods, your best plasmas. It's coming out of these best nutrients from your body because it wants to give your seed, your next life force that's coming in, the best genes you have available. So you're losing your greatest everythings. Your zinc, your greatest vitamins, your greatest nutrients are going to come out your body. So definitely it is going to be extracted from your actual physical aura, body, etc. Because life wants to take a piece of you in order to give it to your potential son or daughter. So number one is definitely correct. Number two is also correct. There will also be liquid within the testes or the epididymis that are waiting to be ejaculated. This mixed in with prosthetic juice is normally the liquid you get out. You don't just get semen. You don't just get semen and the seminal vessel by itself. You always get semen mixed in with other juices such as prosthetic juice. And this is what gives it its flow, as one could consider, like it's large amounts of flow that comes out. It's not just the seminal liquid itself. It's prosthetic juice mixed in. So these two processes are exactly what's happening. It's definitely being extracted from the testes. It's also being extracted from the entire body because it wants to give your best bloods out. No matter how and where it is stored, it has to extract vital elements from the entire body during or after ejaculation in either beliefs. And while doing so, it disturbs the blood circulation as well. Also, body has to generate the semen back. So a lot of ailments in young men, whether this be skin conditions in many cases, whether this be eczema, whether this be pimples, sores, etc., a lot of skin ailments come from this direct disturbance in blood circulation. A lot of young men that lose their life force at a young age, you could see this when on their skins because what's happening on the interior will reflect on the exterior. Therefore, it's essential to understand how potent this life force is, and losing this life force essentially disturbs your blood flow. It disturbs many facets because building this semen up, it takes time to let this semen mature, this God's milk that we know as wine, to mature, to become something greater over time. It takes time, generally. Even the process to transfer the semen again in seminal vessel itself means it has to extract all those necessary elements from all over the body. That's the process weakening the body. Many boxers know this term as women make legs weak, or losing your semen makes your legs weak. This is that same concept, because you lose your most vital nutrients. And now, while you may think you can outthink or outshine or overpower this loss in energy, once lost, it is always lost. So don't believe the people that say, yeah, I could still go out there and I could still perform, or I could still win, I could conquest, I could still conquer. Now, while all this is true in the very material world, in the outer worlds, that energy is permanently lost. And if you know that, you know that. That's the process of weakening the body. The logic of the option above is that if semen doesn't form and get extracted from the entire body during ejaculation, then why may a man feel immediate weakness, stress, pain, stiffness in the body rather than only in the sex organs? So once a man climaxes, many women also know this as well. A man's drive prior to sex is very, very driven. It's very, very bold. It's very, very driven. It's almost like they really want something and they won't stop until they get what they get. So their drive, their passion, their love, their lust, all of this is sparked at a very high degree. And then once ejaculation comes, it's almost like that person is gone. That post-nut clarity has now taken over. And basically, a lot of guys, once they finish, they don't want to see the girl ever again in their life. This is why a lot of times they save this sacred act of sex for a marital act, for someone you have a bond with, someone that you love, someone that you see rather than a sexual being. You will see that sex is not just some meaningless act. It's the formation of God coming together. The N, the L, and the G formulating at the center. This God consciousness when man and woman comes together. But it's essential that men understand you will feel weakness in the body. You will feel weakness in the mind because you lost a piece of yourself that is now being destroyed by astral entities, especially if you are masturbating. You must check out that video I've posted on this channel about the science of semen retention. Many people to this day ask me, is that thumbnail real? Is there an astral entity attaching onto my energy? And I ask them, you know the answer to this. You can feel this. You always feel the regret. You know the downsides of this, and yet you continue on this path, looking for an answer, looking for a gateway to justify your actions. The bottom line is ejaculation removes key elements from the body, and then the regeneration of semen and physical strength takes its own time and method. It is generally accepted that sperms develop in testes already pre-produced and are already there in the testes and epididymis during ejaculation, which at the time of ejaculation mix up with prosthetic juice and travel with semen. So the bottom line, guys, that we want to pinpoint here is this loss of energy, once lost, it is always lost. And it will have to get built up from that moment forth again. It can never be regenerated. Like, you can always build it up again to the point you once were. But that once were, once it's lost into the ether. It's out into the ether. So unless you had a child out of that, just know that energy went out into the ether. This is always how libido works. This driving life force can help you either manifest some different reality that you desire, or you can use it in the sexual act. But it's essential to know you should preserve this and save this for someone you truly love, right? This is not, we're just telling you this because we don't want to see you having fun, etc. We want you to understand the spiritual journey behind this. So this has been How is Semen Stored in the Body Explained. Feel free to like the video,